I'm Shelby Morgan and I teach here at Comanche. I want to talk to y'all about our Glowforge Pro. We got this the summer of 2020. We received a Oklahoma PureTech lottery grant earlier that year and we purchased the Glowforge Pro along with the compact air filter. It is a plug and play web-based software, so it makes it really easy. You can engrave with JPEGs or PNGs. If you want to cut, you can convert it to an SVG. We're able to use Canva for pretty well everything we need, or we'll do design in Canva. I'll use Inkscape, which is another free program, to convert it to an SVG. Most schools, most teachers I know use Canva, love Canva. So we initially got it to be able to cut out different things for different class projects and to make our own awards. That was one of the big pushes on why I wanted this. I looked at several of their brands and sizes and felt this was going to be price point, size, and easy use with that software. Glowforge was the best thing for our program. We did several different things. I had kids that would bring in all kinds of random stuff beginning of last year to like, hey, can you put this on this? It was almost overwhelming, but it was a lot of fun because the kids were so energetic and so excited for this new technology, which was great coming back from doing in-person, somewhat normal school year after having virtual that last 9 weeks the previous year. So in my classroom, I've used it some in my Ag 1, Ag Explorations, and Wildlife Management and Ag Leadership. As far as my wildlife management, one example of when we used it last year was we were making miniature duck blinds. The boys had to go through, draw out what they wanted their duck blind to look like, the main building pieces that they needed, the shape and the size. So they put all that together. We converted it to an SVG, cut out the pieces, and then they were able to build it from there. And then my Ag 1 classes, we go over the cattle industry. We talk about cattle brands. I always let them draw out and make their own cattle brand. So we actually drew it out on paper. They converted it, either took a picture or they used Google Slides to get the shapes to line up. Then we converted it and we did little keychains with their brands that they made in class on. And then some other things we've done is my Ag Leadership class has actually turned it into a school-based business this year. So my leadership is kind of a combination of leadership skills, communication, and then ag business. We started coming up with ideas what we could do fundraiser-wise outside of our awards. Originally, our awards started out just to do at our local show and banquet, and we've quickly spread to do more activities. But we looked for different ideas to kind of build off of that. What could we do? And it started off with these little do-it-yourself turkey paint kits. They figured out what kind of file we needed. We weren't quite ready to start building our own file for something like that. So we looked at one that we had commercial reproduction permission. So we purchased the file. They started looking into, the paints, the brushes, the glue pens to glue those layers together, how to package it. So they kind of ran with it. We broke down like what all do we need to consider, down to the label stickers that we put on the bags and how we're going to market it. It was really neat to watch them look at all of this, take all those factors into consideration, our input cost, the time it puts together each kit and cut out the wood pieces for it, and then come up with a retail cost. We were able to email a little flyer with pictures of it to everyone in our district. We also posted it on our social media page, and it did extremely well. We did Christmas ornaments before Christmas, and we also offered cutting boards and leather keychains, which were also really popular as stocking stuffers. It was really neat to see how they come up with different ideas, offering customs. We had some people reach out for cutting boards. They wanted something particular, a saying, or a certain design. And so the students had no issues with contacting if they weren't sure, if something wasn't quite clear. They really wanted to make sure every customer got exactly what they were hoping for. And so they had no problem reaching out, which is a big deal, I think, for high schoolers to contact some of our community members and ask them questions because they really cared about what they were doing. All of our orders we do through Google Forms. We're a Google school. It's just the easiest. I can share those Google Forms with the kids, and they help make it. I help oversee all of it, obviously. But then they can all look, and they could come into class and say, oh, we have another order for this. We need to finish this order, and things like that. They came up with a logo. We print labels and put that logo sticker on pretty well everything that leaves. On the cutting boards, we just had a little care tag with that on it that went in the packaging with the cutting board. And then they came up with invoicing. They would print off orders, invoicing, making sure keeping track that order with the invoice, whether it had been picked up, paid for, all of that. So really good entrepreneur skills, really good business skills they're picking up in the classroom. They've really taken ownership over what they're doing. I think between the turkey kits and the ornament kits, between beginning of November to Christmas, they made about 29 of those. Keychains, right over 30. We actually made over 50 cutting boards. So it was a little overwhelming, but it was so nice that they had an idea and they just went for it, which is really intimidating when you put an idea and you're hoping it works out great. But it's really intimidating just to put it out there and see how people respond. So I'm so glad it was such a well-liked idea. Who knows this next year, new kids, if that's going to be something that, you know, is as popular as again, and they may have all new ideas. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is to see how it's going to evolve and grow. It's also given some of my kids that are not involved in public speaking or livestock showing, kind of a unique SAE opportunity to work on this, do this school-based business. We incorporate a lot of graphic design on our flyers, our labeling when they come up with the designs. Here's an example of a design on some plaques we're doing. We did our own banquet plaques last year in our local livestock show, and then this year in the fall, this last fall, Central Area did their CDE preview contest, and we were asked to do all the plaques for that contest. We also did all of our region livestock shows in January, and now we are working on our speech contest plaque. So it's very exciting. It's very busy. I think the kids really do enjoy doing the plaques. A lot of the time it's when we start getting busy with those, I can easily switch out plaques in and out. They already have the designs all done for everything, so I can just switch out designs and plaques, and when I have that class come in, it's ready for them to either mask plaques that aren't masked yet to be ready to engrave. They start painting, or they're doing some cleanup and getting ready for that final clear coat. So I actually have a time-lapse version of a plaque in here yesterday. Here is one that's been masked. It's been engraved this afternoon. And then you can see, had one, they painted it. Once this is dry, and they'll go over and they help double check each other's work and make sure the paint is all down in the letters, make sure it's an even before they peel this tape off. And then here's one that is done, needs a little bit more cleanup, and then they'll start going outside and doing a clear coat over the top of these. So it's really neat because they all help each other and try and get things done. Here's a time lapse of one of our plaques being engraved. In real time, it takes about 31 minutes. From this point, the students will take it, they'll get it painted, and work on the finishing process. It's been really neat to see some of the different color combinations they've come up with. I know one of the favorites is the dark walnut with the purple blue iridescent colored paint. It just really pops. We have our Waurika Region Livestock Show plaques that we did, our local show plaques, as well as the CDE contest plaques we've done this year. Our turkey kits and our DIY paint ornament kits that were really popular. Some of our leather keychains, a popular cutting board design, as well as our logo.